Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is March the 30th, 2019, and we are reading from Buscaglia Born for Love. Got it kind of close that time. Anyway, this is a book that we read from and kind of contemplate about because it is done in short segments to give you a much better idea of certain interesting sayings or quotes or however you want to say it. But anyway, I will go ahead and start. And the first one that we're going to start with is love doesn't keep score. Sharing in love does not mean keeping a balance sheet of who is doing what and who is doing more. There will be times when we must give more than we get, but there will be other moments when we will need to receive more than we were able to give. Keeping score belongs in competitive sports, not in a mutually supportive relationship. True love is wanting to give to another person without any thought about who's getting the better of the deal. The idea that love involves some sort of quid pro quo is, at best, an immaturity that needs to be outgrown. At worst, it is a distortion of love that turns two people into unhappy combatants vying for control. Of all the games that lovers play, this can be one of the most delicate when the players are mature enough and care enough to stop keeping score. The contest is over. Love has declared another victory. Quote from John Stuart Mill: "There are many truths of which the full meaning cannot be realized until personal experience has brought it home." In contemplating, I find it interesting. If you look around when you're out and about in the world, you can see this so-called concept of keeping score going on a lot. And it's sometimes interesting to watch, and you wish you could step in and say something, but in the real world, that's probably not a good idea. Anyway, we'll take a moment to contemplate. The next one is the search for love. Nothing except perhaps the fountain of youth has ever led us on a more constant or frantic search than love. We begin the search as children, and it never ends until the day we die. I'm convinced that we cannot live without love. The problem is that love is so changing, so elusive, has so many faces, that one who pursues it often falls into frustration. Perhaps it would be better to stop pursuing and just live it. Love may come to those of us who wait, but it had better be an active waiting, not a passive one, or we may wait forever. Quote by Benjamin Franklin: "If you would be loved, love and be lovable." Again, taking a moment for contemplation, it seems to me that I'm sure that all of us search for love, hope to find love, but it's very elusive and sometimes bewildering because of the nature of the human being. We never know for sure whether it's love we're receiving or a game that's being played. I enjoyed the aspects of this book because it really does give you an opportunity to think about the things that have been said. The next segment. Love has nothing to do with competition. It's unfortunate that so many of us are encouraged to develop a competitive spirit early in life because it so often works to the detriment of a cooperative spirit necessary for love. The world becomes an arena of winners and losers, where character is shaped according to one's ability to survive, where winning is the only sign of success, and where we are constantly measured against others to determine and validate our worth. Love is not a competitive sport. Winning in love comes through cooperation, compromise, and caring. When we become masters of these skills, everybody wins. Quote from Herman Melville: "We cannot live only for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connect us with our fellow men, and along these fibers, as sympathetic threads, our actions run as causes, and they come back as effects." Fascinating as I think about this. We need competition in the world because it does produce winners and losers. But from my point of view, if you have strived to be successful, then you are a winner. Whereas with love, if you become too competitive, it's possible that it could destroy whatever love there may have been. We're going on to a little bit different segment now. We have come to one of those pages where the theme is going to change, and it's called "One Who Relaxes in the Arms of Love Usually Awakens at the Feet of Disillusionment." So we'll read on and see where that takes us. The next segment, the next segment is "Never Tire of Saying I Love You." Such a simple phrase, I love you. Yet I cannot think of any words with greater power. François Vignon, the French poet, wrote, "I love you. These are easy words to say, yet my heart fails as I say them, for their meaning is as full and musical as the bell of doom." We should never tire of expressing love, for certainly we never tire of hearing it expressed. Strange how simple it is for us to use these words with inanimate things. We feel safe in loving our car, a new coat, or spaghetti and meatballs. But we have grave difficulties verbalizing our love for other human beings, even to those closest to us. In my love class, I required that each student go home, look their father in the eyes, and say, "I love you, Dad." This assignment was the source of immense anxiety. The response from Dad was always surprising, ranging from total shock, a stammered, "I'm glad, but what's with you?" to, "I know that. You don't have to tell me." The message, "I love you," is not something that goes without saying. To the contrary, it needs to be said whenever and wherever love is present. A quote by Mother Teresa: "There is more hunger for love and appreciation in this world than for bread." Wow. I'd like to say, in my belief anyway, that the universe, the entire universe, was created out of love. God created us to love Him. Because when He created the universe, He needed love just as much as we do. It's sad but true. Going to places where elderly are kept when they reach a certain age. I worked in a nursing home many, many years ago. And I remember this lady, very, very nice lady. And this one particular morning, I was really in a good mood. Things had really going well for me, and I was really happy and excited. And I came into the room, and I gave this lady a big hug and said, "Good morning." And this lady started crying. And she said to me, "That's the first hug I've gotten in almost 10 years." How sad. It's not that just we need love. It's the whole world needs love. The next one, the art of staying in love. Our library shelves are full of volumes telling us how to win at the game of love. The problem is that most deal with love as a game. But they do not want to be hampered by the rules. Add to that a regretfully large number of people who are unaware that there are rules at all. Falling in love is easy. In fact, it is so easy that some manage to do so regularly. The passion they call love rarely proceeds beyond the glandular stage, or to be more precise, is seldom discerned above the belt. This love represents little more than a carnal expression which, once realized, diminishes in force until the next time it is reactivated by a new love interest. Staying in love requires far more of us. To satisfy the senses may be the major challenge for some, but it is actually the easiest part. The mind and spirit require continual attention and stimulation as well. It is not until we assume responsibility for the enhancement of the total self that love can survive. When Jackson quotes, "You can work at something for 20 years and come away with 20 years worth of valuable experience. Or you can come away with 1 year's experience 20 times." Truth, shall I say, has many faces. Truth is in the eyes of those who can conceive and understand that knowledge which they have learned. In some cases, truth could be almost beyond our understanding. But once understood, can change your life forever. Contemplating. The next one is love and perfection. Human perfection isn't an illusion. No one is perfect. No thing is perfect. In art, it is usually the flaw that makes the masterpiece more intriguing. Striving to do our best is what life is all about. The problem lies in the misguided belief that we will not be loved unless we reach the highest levels of achievement. Such beliefs create compulsive behaviors which only sap our energies, getting us nowhere. This notion is so extreme that some people will threaten suicide because they burned the pot roast. Others will make the joy of gardening a mad obsession because they are determined to have the most manicured lawn in the neighborhood. These people behave as if mistakes or small imperfections are permanent. Irreversible stains on their carefully cultivated images. Few die from imperfection. Most are allowed to try again, improving decisions and behaviors. We don't have to always be right. When we relinquish the narcotic need to be perfect, we are freed of the pressures of sainthood and can learn more from our mistakes instead of being destroyed by them. Dolores Bertram quotes, "If you haven't forgiven yourself something, how can you forgive others?" Wow, how very, very true. And boy, do we see it all over, everywhere. How do you tell a perfectionist? And I am one, I'm sorry to say, but how do you tell a perfectionist that it's not necessary? And as he said, perfection is an illusion. None of us are perfect. None of us will ever be perfect. And it's partly from the fact that just maybe, as some of us believe, as I do, that I'm only perfect in the eyes of God without perfection. One must wonder when one looks at the universe to think to themselves that perfection is a misguided term, because the whole universe is perfect because the Creator created it perfect, and all the things that we see as being imperfect are just the way it is. It's good that we allow time to contemplate that which has been read. I'm thinking my nose is not an imperfection. It runs because it's natural for my body to do that for whatever reason that I don't understand, and I guess I don't need to understand. But it does its thing. The next one, called Lasting Love. There is a great deal of how-to literature about keeping love alive that can be distilled into two words: persistent effort. When we are held back, pushing aside, ignored, hurt, rejected, we must be like the heart that keeps beating even in the damaged body. We must persist. If we are not prepared to be resilient in love, we need to be prepared for a short relationship. Nearly, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, my brother.
Hey, you got to pull your little thing down a little bit more.
Yep, there you go.
Now I can hear you very well.
How are you?
I am doing fantastic.
Good.
It's good to see you. You're looking great.
Thank you. I feel good.
Yeah, your spirits and your eyes, and you just look like you're really on top of the world.
I slept in today, so I felt good.
Yay.
And I had my lunch, and so we had Sloppy Joe's sandwiches and vegetables, and it was good.
Wow. Well, I think that's cool. Good to see you.
Good to be seen. So
Yeah.
anxious to get the heck out of this place.
Oh, I don't blame you. I'll have to
it's
just real quick show you that we're into something different here. I don't know if you can see that or not.
What does it say?
Which way do I go here?
To your left? No, to the other way. I can't read it. Born for. I can't read the rest.
Love.
Born for love. Okay. So you got a new book.
Yeah, we're already into it a little bit. And I'm doing things a little bit different because it's done in segments.
Okay.
And the segments need contemplation.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I read a short segment, and then we contemplate, think about, or we can discuss a little bit about what it says.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example to start with, okay?
Okay.
The next segment is called Lasting Love. There is a great deal of how-to literature about keeping love alive that can be distilled into two words: persistent effort. When we are held back, pushed aside, ignored, hurt, rejected, we must be like the heart that keeps beating. Even in the damaged body, we must persist. If we are not prepared to be resilient in love, we need to be prepared for a short relationship. Nearly everyone is guilty of having thrown up their hands in despair over some seemingly loveless act or insoluble problem in relating. Every attempt at rectifying the situation seemed to push us into another dizzy failure until we finally lost the motivation, if not the reason to try once more. Since we cannot live without love, we must rise up and try again. It helps if we keep in mind that there are few obstacles that can resist perseverance, determination, patience, and most of all, more love. Now, there is a quote by Vince Lombardi. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up again. And then we contemplate and discuss it.
Okay. Well, like something else Vince Lombardi used to say, winning isn't everything, but losing sucks.
I agree. How very true.
Okay. So I don't know that he said that, but I know somebody did.
Somebody did. Yeah.
I know I did. So.
Well, you know, the beauty of, I guess, just doing something, you know, love is serious. Love is fun. Love is emotional. Love is just friendship. You know, there's all kinds of different kinds of loves, and love is just an expression of the worthiness of how two people, how should we say, get along. And when love's involved, then sometimes getting along may not always be the right answer, because sometimes they don't get along.
Right.
But if there's love there, then it doesn't make any difference.
Yep.
Oh,
Hey, I decided I was going to have my call tonight, so I'll be advertising that.
well, you're going to have your call tonight?
Yeah,
And
that'll
what
be at
time?
4 o'clock your time.
4 o'clock my time? Okay. That sounds like a winner.
So hope to see you there. And
Well, I'm going to try to be there. I'm just tickled. You really look good. I can't. It's just amazing. You've got, how should I say, sparkle in your eyes. Your face looks good. You just look terrific.
well, I can see the end of the tunnel, and the light is flashing.
Ah, you're going to
So
get out of that free zone.
I'm hope to hear something this week that says they can take this apparatus off my ankle and let me move about the cabin freely.
Well, the other thing, remember I was telling you about trying to see if I could figure out how to get the money out of my account with True United.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while, but I did finally get it done. What happened was that I had to literally take a picture of my ID on my smartphone and then take that and send the picture to my email address so that when I received it in my email address, then it was on my computer. Then I could go back to True United. Then I could go back to that True wallet and then transfer the picture of the ID from my email address into the wallet. And then when I got it all done, guess what I get? Oh, it'll take about 3 or 4 days before you get this, and it'll be all set up. I said, okay.
Very good.
But I got it done.
So how much money are you going to get?
Oh, I just took out $20. I just wanted to be able to, know how to do it and do it. I've learned that, if you don't do it, then how can I tell somebody else how to do it? I know, I know Ken has got quite a bit in his account, because he's been leaving there. But last month, because his mother's in the hospital and then his son wrecked a truck or something, and he ended up here kind of, shall we say, really short for the month. And he said, yeah. He said, even if I don't know exactly how much he has in there for sure, but he said, even if I could get out a little bit of it, it would sure help. And I said, well, I know how now. Of course, you probably won't be able to get it out until you get paid anyway, so then I don't know if you'll need it or not. But maybe you should take, like I did, take out 20 so you know how to do it. So,
right.
Yeah, so he might be over tomorrow. He's working today.
Okay.
I'm looking at the clock, so I'm going to read one more, and then we'll be done as far as the reading goes.
Okay.
And I really like.
Well, I do have to go though, but.
Oh, do you?
But I want to come by and see you because I missed you.
Well, I'm glad you dropped in. It's good to see you. I'm tickled. I mean, you can't imagine how good you look. You sure
Thanks,
you're not
buddy.
slapping some of them girls on their ass?
Not to my knowledge, and not to theirs. Definitely not. No. We got some cuties up here, though.
Oh, I bet you do. Anyway,
All right, buddy, I'll let you go.
All right, well, you have a good one, and I'll try to be in there tonight at 4.
All right, take care, Robert.
All right, you have a great one.
God bless.
God bless. Yep, one more, and then we'll be done. Live now. Dissect later. Everyone is preoccupied with trying to figure out what life is all about. By the time they figure it out, the show's over. There's an old story about a seeker who had traveled high into the Himalayas to find a great teacher upon whom he believes has the secret of life. After much hardship, the traveler finally comes face to face with the wise one in a cave high in the mountains. The seer has been a recluse for many years, half naked, dressed in only a few dirty rags. His face and head are tangled mass of snowy hair. His eyes are red and glossy from lack of sleep. The traveler sits nervously at the teacher's side. Tell me, he pleads, what is the secret of life? The secret of life is simple, responds the teacher. Life is just a bowl of cherries. The traveler is startled by the teacher's response. A bowl of cherries, he explains. The teacher ponders this for a moment and then questions. You mean it isn't? Life is what is happening while you waste precious time pondering what life is all about. And here's a quote from someone that's anonymous. Minds are like parachutes. They function only when they are open. Very, very interesting. And the quote I've heard before, but then this is an older book. And true, that life is what it is, and I think that I found from reading another book, by the way, life is in the now. Right now. Not yesterday, because it's gone. Not tomorrow, because it's not here yet. In fact, tomorrow will never be here, because when tomorrow gets here, it'll be today. So when you really stop to think about it and boil it down to the brass tacks of reality, life is the now. What are you doing now? Are you living in the now? And if you go to Google and search, I think, I'm not quite sure because I don't know, but there is a book that refers to, the now. And it's an excellent book to read. I might, if I can, I might get that book at some point in time because I think it would be a very interesting book to read. But there again, we're looking in the future and I'm not in the now, therefore we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, contemplating on all that we have done and read, and holy cow, great to see my friend. Yes, he dropped by to say hello, looking great. Yep. Anyway, I believe we will close this session and move on, and then I'll see you again. Well, it looks like to my calendar, the next time you're going to see me is in April, I think, which will be this coming Tuesday. So everybody have a great, wonderful, blessed day, and hope to see you drop by sometime in the future. And if not, I hope you tune in to see my videos, and I hope that you enjoy them. I enjoy doing them. So with that, I'm just going to say, have a great day and see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.